Good morning, everybody. This is Dr. Deborah. I have several things I'm going to share with you today. I'm starting with the movie Rustin. I went to see it, and it's a beautiful story, and he's a beautiful man. All right. So I kept noticing how my heart was heavy every time I saw the minister that he was having the affair with, and the torment in his face and in his body. It was really hard to I felt terrible. And then I felt bad about the way the NAACP and other people treated, first of all, Rustin, and then gay people in general in our world. And everybody that's on the LBGTQI-A spectrum, if that's a proper word. And I'll say something about that another time. But right now, I started to think about one thing I always say to any people who feel like they're being oppressed in some kind of way, that the respect you want from us, you have to give to us as well. I thought about the way the people treated Mr. Rustin, and he had the best spirit of anybody I think I've ever seen portray their lives in a movement that was so engaged in his call, I would say, in his life. And so I'll get to what love got to do with this in just a minute, or what half love got to do with this in a minute. And so as he did his thing and dealt with the people that he had to deal with, he kept going, and he encouraged himself, as I think the Bible said David did. He encouraged himself. And so he didn't allow it to get in the way of his brilliance. And then I thought about the preacher that he was having the affair with, and how sad he was, and how sad I was for him. And then I realized, I said, okay, that mutual respect thing has to do with, and this is to the people on it that are in the rainbow. I'm just gonna call them the rainbow community, so I don't have to keep naming all the letters in the acronym. And no disrespect. But that's part of the problem. I'm trying to be respectful, but that's my next point. You guys, we have got to realize that people who love the same gender, the same sex, whatever the proper terminology is, that's not new to our world. Not at all. Not at all. So we should really be over ourselves by now. And then the persons who are same-sex loving has to do the same thing. Because think of how many ages heterosexualism, the body, the biology of that, how old that is. And then people have the Bible that reifies the whole idea that it should be a vagina and a penis that come together for the sake of procreation. And we know everybody that has a vagina and a penis are not having children, and I dare say shouldn't. I mean, I should say that's a good idea for some people to not have children. But the whole point here is there are ages and ages of ideas and pushback against same-sex loving. So you got to understand who you're dealing with when you're trying to get people to accept where you are. And then people who have been here all this time, and they still have problem with how people love, and how they choose to identify, and who they choose to love. You ought to be over too. Especially, I'm just talking about the Christian nation we live in, supposedly the Christian nation that we live in. And that's where I'm getting to the love thing. And then I started to ask the question, and people always asking, if God is such a good God, then why do we have babies that are, come here a certain way? Or why do we have people who are otherwise capable or handy-capable? All the euphemisms that we come up with to try to feel better, make ourselves feel better about people being different and how we treat them. And I may have said this before, but it's clearer to me now that the reason why we have all this difference in our world is to help us learn how to love. That's the lesson. Do I sound like a preacher right now? That is to help us learn how to love. That's why I can laugh at Dave's laughing at the handicap. And when I said nobody finds that funny unless you're Jamie Foxx, when he tells he tells jokes, he has a Down syndrome cousin or somebody in his family, and he joked about how she responds to stuff, and that was the most beautiful. And I laughed with him, and even when I heard him doing that, I thought it was beautiful that he was just treating her like a person, like, and he, of course, he lifted her difference, but he embraced it so much so that he could talk about her. He could make a joke about her. And that's somebody who knows how to love and knows what it means. That all that political correct stuff we do in the name of whatever we do it, that is not helping. If you want to really do something for the people who are otherwise capable or not as capable as the rest of us, then love them, then accept them, then treat them like they are humans, like they are. That's how you do it. You radically accept them. And so when I think about Dave and what he was saying, my heart was trying. I laughed because it was funny, but my heart was being encouraged. It was being invited, just as he was doing, for me to get over myself because this is real and love. And the people who wouldn't laugh at the jokes, they're not there. And Dave, of course, he's hoping they get there, and I'm hopeful too. But that's the reason why we have these differences in our world, in our families, because our challenge then is to love them right where they are, just as they are. And that works both sides. Now, if you're in a relationship, and I mean, we're all in relationship with each other. That's what I mean when I talk about relationship. I'm not talking about romantic stuff. You should know that about me by now. So when you're in a relationship with us like you are, your challenge, your job is to love them right where they are. How to do that, that's where I am. That's what my teachings are about. How to do it. And because I'm a therapeutic, skilled therapeutic healer, then I know how. And I'm just as challenged as the rest of us, but somebody has to be Dave, be Jesus, and say the stuff nobody wants to hear. So if you really want to embrace everybody, if you really want to have a better relationship with everybody, then self-reflect, look at yourself, get over yourself, find a way. And I can help you find that way to love them radically. Dr. Deborah at howtolove.us is my email address. Like, subscribe, comment. I am so interested. Thank you, Karen, for helping me out this morning. Until next time, how you loving? We only got one day.